just want to say I underestimated this team as a whole, but there's a long, long way to go before we get to that point, and I think we could get a very close game on our hands.
Well, let's hope so, Tom, because we've had our fair share of one-sided halves. Maybe this is where things can change for us. For Mates on the attack. I mean, when we talk about this squad, I think it's hard not to address for the next couple of games we see them on. The fact that we have high expectations of Mini. He's been delivering throughout last season, IGLing, and now that weight is off his shoulders. Look at this deep play coming in from Grabinho! A triple to kick it off! And he has completely dismantled Mates' approach. They were trying to fake out on B. They even got a pick there. And then late hit into that A site. They found Grabinho all alone, or I suppose better than that, he found them. The spike, the smoke, and, well, this is going to be quite a difficult one for Starzo and Martin to get anywhere close to a recovery on.
Yeah, it's just brutal. Like, you're trying to sell a ruse, you get the opening pick on one side of the map, and then you walk into a single guy, and that guy takes you down. Both players going to try and make their way through the edge of this smoke. Of course, everybody other than Cloud, who's just currently watching for those rotations, is just locked in on that spike position, left, waiting, even with anti-flash ready in case there's a pot flash to come through. I'll tell you for free there isn't. There's a seize though, and that has brought them a little bit low. It won't matter. It's Groovy to finish things off as he started. A phenomenal pistol from him. It looks like he's already having to try and calm down his teammates. No, I'm not doing that all game. Come on.
That was a hell of a start. Like we said, you know, Martin grabbing one there. It leaves Grabinho alone, isolated. Look at the mini-map there. Closest player was towards double doors. And yet, this man stands his ground, taking scalp after scalp. My goodness. I want to hear the end of the sentence. Maybe what? A 1-0 for GX. A solid start indeed.
That's about as well as it gets. Of course, they are the squad, at least the squad that was playing here last year. You could say the same for BBL and Ulf when they get their team together, but they are the squad that has the same roster as last year. So I think for kickoff, expectations are relatively high. You don't have the same caveats that other teams are working with. Like, okay, we've got to work on synergy, etc., etc. This team made champions, so they've got to hit the ground running. They also managed to win Project Blender as well, so it's been a decent off-season for them. This round, a little bit of extra damage though. Not bad from Mates, making this one costly. Of course, it is a 3v2 right now, but you look at the weaponry, and if they get anything more here, they'll be quite happy.
Last player standing.
Yeah, I think that was it. It was a good start. It was a good bit of damage and a lot of promise. Could have been another weapon on the floor, even if that Vandal was recovered. But for GX, 3 players alive to close out that round. That's about as good as it can be for Grabinho, though. A 4K to kick this off. He even started the map by saying, you know what, his previous teams, they didn't really make the waves that they needed to. He didn't have the impact. Well, look at him now. What a strong start. And he loves Spanish food as well. There you go.
He's on the right org for that.
Yeah.
Well, he was before as well, I guess. He has been on a couple of Spanish teams, so.
He's had his fair share of patatas bravas, I'm sure. Well, it doesn't quite compare to croquetas, but
I think you're about to be told that you pronounced both of those wrong, but we'll see.
I think it was spot on, to be honest, mate.
We'll ask the test.
My pronunciation of potatoes. Go on, go ahead. Light that candle.
Well, this is where the buy comes up for Mates, though. And with the vulnerabilities created in the last round, I do see West Side with the Sheriff, and honestly, I look at that as a fall buy. The man that dominated the headshot percentage with a gun that only really known for headshots. Gonna make sure there's no ruse to be had as he sits in the corner. Grabinho tries to continue his run of terror, and there is Westside with the pistol. I said it almost feels like a full buy when he has this gun in hand. Ran out of bullets, but he's got teammates to back him up. And while Mini got more than I thought he would. I thought he was dead to rights already.
Yeah, but a 3-0 start speaks for itself. GX got to be feeling good about how this game's kicking off. The fact is, you've got players stepping up to the mark, hitting those home runs, and well, it's good to see that not a lot has changed when it comes to Westside. The man really does live up to the, I mean, we talked about him a lot last year.
1 HP flick, 140, nice! Come on, guys,
as a man
good
who,
job.
even when he's got that Sheriff in his hand, it's often better than the rifle. His headshot percentage, he was leading the league by double at one point going throughout the last stage. And now, well, he's showing he's still got it coming into 2026. A 3-0 start, pistols for Mates. The attack side certainly struggling to get any kind of leg up.
I think the good thing for GX was we did see them play this a little bit during the off-season. Played up against Team Liquid Academy, lost in relatively close fashion, but I'm sure that's given them the opportunity to sort of fix the smaller issues with the map. And I do wonder if that factored in for mates picking it. So, okay, we actually got to watch them play this, but obviously a lot of teams have changed quite a bit. They haven't changed their comp. They are running exactly what they were doing in the off-season, but back on that stage, it's looking like a slightly different story.
There could be some good value coming here. The drone is about to see these players on short, but mates could overwhelm this site. That wall especially should get them in, but Flickless has dealt with a lot of that problem, thinning out the herd, and my goodness, he's doing a bit more damage through that smoke. Doesn't seem to be stopping his vision as GX. I suppose it looked like they were in danger for a moment, having lost mid-control, having mates knocking on the door, but the enemy at the gates seemed to have been defeated.
30 seconds left.
Flash of pop is going to be closing out the round with ease. Very nicely done by Flickless. And an in-zone flawless round for GX just makes an already strong economic position that much more terrifying to face off against for mates.
But that was one of the stories with this squad coming into it. It was hit by the desk as well. They're one of the few teams that were very, very heavily leaning into the double initiator a lot. I think we talked about each of their players like Cloud and Flickless is almost known for their initiator roles. And going into a meta where a lot of teams are moving into having double control, having double duelist, they've sort of opted to stick to their guns. And as of right now, it's working. We'll see if that at any point comes back to bite them. But you could see how comfortable players like Flickless are on that KO. So moving him away from it, it does almost feel like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, again. Sometimes you do just have to play to your pieces, not to the game plan someone else made up. For mates, 0 on the board so far, rifles back in their hands.
That knife has just hit everyone. They were just about to execute it to the side. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the power of Flickless. He still, by the way, has his ult online. He just decided to throw the knife in, and I think he caught 4 of the 5 players, so they know that the other was the one lurking on the other side of the map. Mates have now had to completely reset what they're doing.
KJ Util still up in art as well, something that mates have to deal with. Risk giving GX all that control. The fact is still 3 players stacked towards the side of the map. It's a heavy presence from that defensive side. GX may pay for that as B now comes under pressure. It puts it onto Ara, it puts it onto Cloud, and they're both playing in the elbow. So much control given up, but they're holding the choke points. Looking to make it costly as these guys come running in. Ara looking for information. He's heard a Cypher cam, but that could easily be the lurk. It's the players coming through the connector that he needs to spot, that he needs to drop, and he gets nothing! Cloud falling alongside him, and mates, that's the strongest position they've had to play from so far.
Already both ultimates popped as well. Definitely seems like they're going for this. The Cosmic Divide attempting to make things a little bit more awkward, but it hasn't done anything of the sort. They're just playing more aggressive angles. Nice shot at least from Westside, but with the null command now dissipating and his teammate incredibly far away. It's looking like they're just going to try and hold them for the exits. They have the credits to play for, but for mates, this is a much needed round.
Yes, a confidence builder too. I think when they went to that low buy, we saw mates experiment with mid control. We saw them push down art, play late through mid and around to the water. And note that no one's here. They're playing aggressive towards main. They're looking for that extremity control. They're giving it up there. Of course, against pistols is probably the way to go. But here again, exploring that territory early on, not commit themselves to extremity hits. It's paid off. They were able to completely overwhelm them, avoid the stack, and to be honest, not even pushing and pulling that much. I was kind of surprised to see mates, or to see GX sticking around on that 3-man A-hold with KJ Util still covering so much of the map. But obviously they were expecting that mates had a favorite site to go to.
The best thing about that as well is they baited out 2 ultimates. Like Cosmic Divide and Null Command came in, it didn't really do anything. It looked like it was an attempt to get in maybe a little bit earlier than when their teammates went down, but I think mates will definitely take that now. They come in with a dimensional drift, which we already know that Martin's going to get far more information than most will. Using the constant gate crash to reposition. Nice stun. He's got a little gap in the corner, but Grubinho reacts fast enough. He doesn't react fast enough for Bibbo, though. There was a second layer to that attack. Even still, it's going to trade back to even.
Oh, the nade's doing a lot of damage. Glyph able to step out of there, but was putting down a star. That timing perfect for Flickless. Kills still need to be found for Mates to get that plant in. They're being choked out of that space. GX hold those angles from spawn. Mates are looking elsewhere. We've already seen stars. No contact. In towards the connector, just about surviving as Glyph. It's going to keep some utility online for the attempted retake coming in from GX, and maybe, well-placed Gravwell up against that off could change the game. Starzo, oh, he's giving away his position, but that crossfire still intact! Oh, Era sliding through like that to get one, but they were not going to let him get away with that.
Yeah, it does feel like it, as in many cases, Starzo was almost just using himself as bait, constantly like shooting off bullets just to try and give his teammates that additional play. Nice start from Gravino. I honestly thought they were screwed by the setup. Like the Cosmic Divide with the gap left in it is a classic, but then to have the stun in front just to leave them with nowhere left to stand. But I like the second layer, like Bippo sliding through when they're both stunned up. There really was no survival chance. A wonderful set play from Mates to get themselves in. And now they have another couple of ultimates to play with.
Yeah, now they're back into the game, right? After a really shaky start. There was a lot of danger on the horizon, but they managed to stabilize. And again, we'll look towards this early play on mid. 125 on the clock as they're going to step into Art, and this space given up for free. Previously covered by Killjoy utility, but they're not hearing it. And as we can see, that's been shifted over to this B site. Question is, what do they do from here with 5 players in mid? Could be the full commit when they see there's no utility there, but they still have plenty of fallback options with the Cypher util covering their back.
Bit of space on towards this A site, but this is what we saw a lot from Mates. They'll make noise, they'll put pressure, they'll send their duelists in, and then they split back to the other side of the map. But I'm sure that's been studied by GX. They're not moving an inch. Still 2 players on this side. One of them currently trapped by the Seas, but running through that smoke would have some serious risk about it. Because of that, they're now going back through that choke again, leading the way. Bippo, he's done fantastically well. Doesn't go down, allows his teammates through the choke, and that's already 2 openers on what was a site that wasn't easy to break into from there.
It's the second time now we've seen Mates, 4 players making it through the double door, 1 through long. This time a bit more disruption put in, playing much heavier towards Art, putting utility into the A site to really make GX think that it was going to be a play in that direction. And I think from their perspective, to drag people out of that angle in double doors or get them to be caught in mid-rotate as they push back into the space. Mates get through the door, get into the B site, and that's really where the problem is, because now 2 rounds they've won like that, sure, but we've also seen the setup on the B site change. We've seen the Killjoy be shifted over here now to try to back it up. I think it was an op in play for Ara before, or an Outlaw perhaps. It was Sniper anyways back in Hall that was immediately shut down. That's now sent to the other side of the map so that hopefully the shift over will make B that little bit easier to hold on to. And it didn't. Man, they got a little bit of damage onto Bippo, but my guy was able to slide in and decimate them.
But the interesting thing is, normally, even if you only have 2 players on this side of the map, making it out of that choke with no casualties is almost impossible.
It's very tough.
Doing it twice is insane. Like the fact that they've been able to get out onto that part of the map without really too much struggle, I have a feeling that GX are going to have to seriously look at that and just change up their crossfires.
Yeah. Well, I think that, again, this is the problem. They kind of did. They played back elbow last time. This time they go close, and Bippo comes swinging out the smoke on the slide, which is the worst thing that can happen when you're up close like that, breaking your ankles. Instead, it's going to be GX looking to fight for the mid control they've given up before, but it's Cloud dropped early. Mini inside the smoke, and Grapinho walks in. He waved his hand through the cage first, letting them know, courteous, granted. You won't get any extra points for that, Mates. 5 versus 3, and it was this exact same situation, hell, almost to the second, that caused a save in the previous round. And I think it's just done it again. That's a 15-second round, man. Twice in a row. Well, I mean, last time there was a bit of faking and so on. But 1 fight, a 1-fight round. Let's put it that way. This is, from how it started, similar to yesterday as well. Like the GX, they look so dominant, they look solid. A couple of blows traded back and forth. Not quite as dominant as yesterday's game, but Mates have really found another gear to take it to very early on. Got to give him props for that. And I think we saw that starting in the low buy round that they had, the eco, where they started to explore this area around mid. Since they've started to play with this control, GX have had no response.
Well, yeah, that's been the funny thing. A lot of the time, you do see a lot of success, especially on B, by teams going through long, taking that long control, going for those firefights. They've not done that. It's all been about mid control and playing with those rotations. I feel like from Grabinho's perspective here, it was very much a, like, I'm going to be revealed, I'm going to try something risky. The gun barrel, definitely.
Too, and I think last round was where GX made that learning, or the round before, right? Applied it to the last one. And none of those approaches have worked. No. You know, everything they've tried has been met with the exact, almost mirror result. So here's where things have to change, right? 4 in a row to mates. Coming into round number 9, that op on Ara finds itself once again on the wrong side of the map. And this guy has had no look in those early fights. They're avoiding him like they can see the goddamn mini-map.
Oh yeah, and after all of that presence put into mid over the last few rounds, after the pause, what do? Direct A hit, change up again, but this is where they're running in a little bit more trouble. Westside's done well, got a kill and got out, kept the man advantage in their favor, but Flickless goes pushing through the smoke. Doesn't have any clue that a player was already waiting for him. Lockdown into play, they're gonna try and put the pressure on. Decent trade from Glyph, leaves it even once again. They are going to have to continue to push forward, though, just to get out of range, and that they will. Sees just misses. Allows Westside that extra little piece of space. In fact, he's not waiting. He's going pushing a chance for a timing. In fact, both players with opportunities here, but it's Starzo to pounce, leaving just Westside. He finds that first into the 1 versus 1. And Glyph's position, well, he knows roughly where he is because of that earlier lockdown. He knows where he would have been forced to, and he can correct just in time. It's a long break from the scoreboard, but Westside does enough.
Sheriffs and Guardians, I don't want to see him with anything else. He just has to tap a Red Bull clutch for Westside, and GX find their 5th, breaking the streak of Gentlemates at long last. And I understand, right? It might seem a little silly. The whole conversation is, oh, but look, their mid control's working. Their opponents don't have an answer to mid control. What do? Not take mid control. But the idea there is they've just called a timeout. The problem's been mid. They're going to do something on mid. They're going to put resources there. It was just putting the full kill throw utility and playing on those angles. It wasn't a big mid crunch or anything that left the site weaker. But I understand why they went for that idea.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see it going again, though.
They also lost it at 1v2, so I guess they're also just thinking, like,
could have easily won.
Probably should have won that round.
Yeah, 100%. I like the change up, though. I like that they didn't just go, well, it's working, let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
They expected the adjustment on the other side.
Oh. Early orb control. Now, we know with mates that this doesn't necessarily mean a hit, and yeah, well, yeah. You've caught Yoru twice. Might give the game away that maybe there was somebody else elsewhere, but either way, they know that the majority were still on that side. Ara's once again taken the control. He wasn't spotted in the last round, so why not? You can do the same again. Put him in an aggressive position with an operator. You don't need, like, there's literally no utility on B. He is the utility. It's just how much he can find from this.
Well, the 3 rounds in a row that they had this op previously, playing aggressive. They didn't get to fire a shot before the round was lost. Well, at least he got one out.
Oh, no.
Oh, just about gets out himself, but he's being chased down. Pippo on the other side will take that backside control, block off the op angle, and Ara is completely surrounded.
Sonic versus
Little does
Shadow.
he know, as Mini watches that mid walk up west side, now down, puts pressure onto Ara. He's surrounded and shut down. Mates extinguishing that flame of hope that GX lit just a round to go. It's 5-5. Well, it's unavoidable at this stage. The only question is, can Grabinho carry that weapon forward? Or will Mates track him down?
There's not really anywhere to go. Maybe he catches Mini. That would give him at least a little bit of space. He's being chased from behind. I don't think 3 players are going to go through the tiny gap. Oh, he's just going to try and walk back into a corner. Starzo is still hunting him. Has joined him with the silent steps. Is he going to check the angle? He is, but not quite properly. That might give a chance to escape, but no, Biffo's hot on his heels as well. 5-5. Mates equalize, but that one wasn't a particularly close round. It was over in seconds. That's a nasty shot.
Very nicely done. Yeah, you feel for Ara here, a player that, you know, you look at the scoreboard now, oh, he's 3 and 6, man. What's he, bro? He's had no chance. He's had that sniper for early fights. He's been sent to A, they go B. He's been sent to B, they go mid to A. He did go to B twice in a row, and they went to A twice in a row. He can't make his mind up, and finally he gets to that B site. They come his way. Utility pushes him back. He gets chased down by a Yoru, chased down by a Neon, and surrounded, pushed from all sides. It's an unfortunate story for Ara, and one that isn't going to get better here. Obviously, this round is already gone in favor of Mates, short of a miracle play. GX invest pretty much nothing. I did just now spot the West side has got his sheriff, so maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe there's hope.
Yeah. This round might be very far from over.
They are going the other way. Something I did really enjoy, I'll say, yesterday was one of the founders of Mates, after it was the amazing performance of Mini, posted, I think it was a gif of him in jail, saying that he's trapped. He's not going anywhere. Because to be honest, after the performance he had, you can't really blame him. The 20-year-old who really is fantastic. A little bit of the new gun for Flickless. We can see if he can hit some headies. Amal, your man is now on the scene. It's a nice first one for West Side. Needs more though. Martin is just a little bit too fast. From 4-0 down to at least 6.5. Mates have had an incredible recovery.
It's funny how biased I am towards Westside, where I see him on that last fight with Yoru, swing out, shoot a shot. I see him dodge, and I just assume it's the other guy. I'm like, oh, we got another one, yep. I saw him shoot.
You almost like, you almost sit there and go, you're a little bit, like, come on, Westside, you should hit that.
Oh, come on. Like, I've seen you with those before. Not this time.
Our standards for Westside are a little bit too high. Just a little bit.
6-5. This is it for GX. They gave up that last round. They gave the lead to Mates. They knew what they were doing. This is where they saved up their credits for one last stand. 100's Fury online, Cosmic Divide, but Flickless is drawing my eye just one away from his own ulti. That null command could have its value, but what I really want to see is finally on this defensive side, Ara having an opportunity. He's been pushed back by utility. He's been completely avoided like the plague, and now he's caught on the way out. The wall's his biggest enemy. He's really not having a good half, and to no fault of his own, but a good trade back by Cloud.
Gives at least an opportunity. Smoke down, but I like this. What, the ult to force them back, and then an ult to make it a little bit more awkward to try and stop them getting that plant. Maybe an opportunity for some spams. There is. Even a shock dart going through, but if I Flickless
spam back.
A bit more back by the guy he was spamming, by the way. Glyph was just going for the plant. Grubinho's got back in, but the trade is immediate. Fundamentals looking good once again. And this leaves just 2 to stand. One of them is Westside. The other is Cloud, and while Westside's all that left, Mates, they'll take themselves the half in the end, and while their attack looks stellar.
Yeah, building on the foundations of a strong debut here, Gentlemates looking like a big competitor in the EMEA, at least in the first few days, in the first half, because we've got more coming your way after this. Let's see if Mates can keep up this momentum in half number 2.
Enemy remains.
Nice!
Big thing for him, that first half, as we said, you know, I felt like he missed the other team just by a coin flip in half the rounds, was really locked out of having impact.
Even when he was there, you saw it in the last round, he was wrecked by utility. I think Glyph especially, the stuns he was throwing out alongside Bippo just made things so awkward for that operator. Of course, as you can see, slightly more attack sided, but I don't know if that's going to help GX out too much. What will help them out? A pistol round.
Oh, that certainly would be a feather in the cap for GX. Movement towards this B site. Mid left wide open by Mates. Puts that pressure right onto the shoulders of this B hold. Mini, he's up close. There's a lot of smokes from the back out at least, but the site will be taken by the looks of things. Maybe forced into the retake here, Gentlemates, very early on. A couple spams or hoping to punish over extensions is pretty much the best they can hope for now.
4 players in the back line of the site. One trying to cross over. It's a gamble from Cloud. You got to know there's quite a few players around that angle. Grubinho passive, but he's fallen. Flickless has now been spotted, but quick trades back, leaving it to Martin and Glyph to try and save it, and that's what they'll do. Glyph has had an incredible series or map so far, currently topping the statistics, and while putting them that pistol that's going to set them a little bit out of reach, at least for now.
Oh yeah, he has definitely stepped up coming into today. For Gentlemates, well, I mean, this is what we were saying, right? For GX, the pistol, it brings them back neck and neck. It puts, well, you know, should be able to get the anti-eco under your belt. It would have given them a great position to play from, but now they'll watch Mates steam further into the lead, forced down to Classics themselves. I'm curious to see, because obviously at the start of that round, we saw Mates 3-stack towards that A site. No mid-control taken whatsoever, none fought for, which even in a pistol you'll usually see something. But very much playing on the sites. And it worked out well with the retake that they go for. No one got isolated. But that's not going to be a facet of every round. They will be going for these mid-fights. When they do, will GX be there to meet them? The team that didn't seem to really put a lot of stock into holding them on their defense.
Only got one more of those, then he has to retreat. Early AWP taken. Grabinho then just left behind, just in case anybody goes walkabouts, which they are going walkabouts. Oh, this is dangerous for Martin. That's also not a gun you really want to be giving over. The chance to insta-kill a couple of players on the other side, but it doesn't get greedy. Doesn't go too far. The rest of the team are really trying to sell the idea of the other side of the map. I do wonder if they will eventually try and split back towards A. It does look like they're going to try and group up. But that's so much damage done. Even though it's a couple of kills for Starzo, two of the players are desperately low.
Yeah, I mean, Flickless and Westside sharing 80 HP, but Grabinho spawn! It's perfect! He's got them a double! Weapons to be recovered, a site-taken glyph. That man's on 25 HP, so yes, Flickless, sorry, 25 shields, I should say. The important thing is, it might as well be 1 health up against Flickless. He just needs that body shot. In fact, I might almost favor Flickless in the fight. Playing deep inside main, one on site, and
such
one
a rat.
tucked in this corner! Grabinho's done it again! A thrifty, poor GX. I don't know how they've gotten away with that.
That might be some of the best positioning and timing I've ever seen. Like, he played perfectly off of his teammates. He needed them to overwhelm that one player, and then he repositions back into mid again with the Spectre he found earlier. That is as good of a play as you're ever going to get. And well, we spoke about the almost guarantee that you get from a second round. Well, a guy coming in with a classic and ended up with 4 kills, that doesn't happen very often.
Tactical genius over on GX, whoever called that. Well, I'm not sure what this strategy is from Mates. I think I know.
Is it the have a chat strat?
It's the. I hope it's the opposite of that. I think it's the tank polish strat, where we don't have a chat. We do the exact opposite. Either that, or there's a very new take on map control that I haven't quite figured out yet. But we'll work on that.
I don't know. Starzo looks locked in. I wonder if they're just waiting for where the knife goes.
It's actually, we're actually playing a strat.
I think what it is they're waiting to see where does the knife go, and then they're going there to stack.
I've actually never seen a round that I assumed was a tech pause that was actually live. But fair enough. They fooled even me. I've got X-ray.
And honestly, where the drone's going, where the spike's going, they are correct. Like, they are all waiting on the right side of the map. And this dart needs to connect on a couple of people. It got one, almost something coming in, but this is where they walk into the rest of them. Not a lot of weapons to play with. And while they are now starting to fall like flies, 30 seconds left. Mini's the first, and actually he gets a couple. Now Martin chimes in as well. They've given Bippo a chance, but he'd need to get something over the top of this already. Both players tagged low enough that this Mates Classic might just get them the value that they need. Timing here is going to be absolutely everything. Trying to get into position, and they just about get it over the line. I like the idea in the end from Mates. It's one that, when you look at it at the beginning of the round, looks silly, but it almost worked.
Looks silly. If I was QC, I'm already pausing the map, just looking at them all freezing like that. It's a crazy play, but I like it. Yeah, just wait for the utility. Oh, they put a knife, they flashed, they've done whatever. Let's all go stack there. And worst case scenario, they faked us and we all go down the spike. Who cares? But best case scenario, you completely catch them off guard. Well done, well handled. 8-7. And it's also just to say, it's not a normal gamble stack, right? Where at the start of the round you just flip a coin. It's a bit of an informed
But also,
stack.
when your opponent has a knife and a dart,
yeah, they're gonna give it
you
away.
stacking somewhere is silly.
Yes,
so it's
they're
like
gonna
they
find
literally
out.
were like, okay, well, if Starzo gets hit by the knife, it really doesn't matter. And once it's gone, it takes so long to come back now that the chance of us being hit by it again is actually quite slim.
And if they've done it and seen only one,
Yeah.
good chance they go there. It's a worthwhile gamble. Really, really nice to see. Just making the best of those really bad situations, those low buys. 8-7 for Mates. Such a close game. Oh, you never know what margin's going to decide it. That spray a little shaky. The west side's gone down. Spams through the smoke. Good to start this one out. The Cosmic Divide, though, does get GX onto site. And to start a plant, it seems. The Nightfall's gone through on the other side. Spike now planted. What's the reaction? They've cleared out elbow. They know there's a player holding up close there. Instead, it'll be towards the side where Starzo Biffle. Martine! Oh! Find themselves kills! A sea of blue in the kill feed. And Mates have found themselves in 9th. That was a blink and you miss it retake. The Cosmic Divide went down, and so did every player on GX.
But like that was timed to perfection from Martine.
Beautiful.
Like the second that looks to drop, he throws a flash that it goes off, and then the wall disappears. Like, look how blind the player in the corner is. There's nothing you can do there. You're like, well, the Cosmic Divide is there. I'm safe. Oh, I'm blind. Oh, I died.
Cosmic Divide's not there anymore.
And also, I'll say, I think Starzo, the one player that he didn't hit with a Nightfall, he hit with a Seas. Like, at point, there was nobody that they didn't know where they were. That's just solid utility from the side of Maves.
It's a pretty good investment. Damn good deal. 9-7. Looking for 10 here are Mates. Hunter's Fury fired through right away, though. Bippo's going to go down. Oh, and almost an extra tag there. Starzo going to keep breathing on full HP. But his mates have lost one early on. You see this mass exodus of the B site. I'm not sure exactly where that cam is, but I'm assuming it can see belong. It's a pretty safe assumption, I'd imagine. And yes, thank you very much. And so because the cam can see belong, they can full stack this A site, play forward there. Unfortunately, now I think they're going to be left with the second part of that strategy, which
although they'll
is
see drone
a retake.
And then do they start running now? Yeah, Mini start running, but it is too little, too late. Like maybe the first trip will at least slow them a little bit. But they will have the site.
I don't know. I doubt we go near a save unless we lose a few players. And Mini's attempt to slip his way into elbow hasn't gone their way. Now a 5v3 post-plant. That's not looking quite as worth the risk as it was in a 4v5 pre-plant. So yeah, it's going to be Mates calling to carry those weapons forward to the next round. To be honest, like in the 4v5, I think there's a very slim chance that they would go for it. But you're always like, oh, I can maybe go in and get one.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Second that doesn't go your way, it's like, ah.
With the amount of credits they have, you can kind of go like, if we lose one more gun, we can still comfortably rebuy. It's not the end of the world. You lose a couple more, and it's like, okay, this isn't worth it anymore. So I think that was the right sort of idea. Like Mini was basically just trying to catch one on the cross as they went in. But again, I think both teams have been very good, especially with that A site counter util. I think we've seen the same stuns going out from Neon that basically just makes it so that if you run up there, you're screwed. And that's exactly what they did with the Hunter's Fury. They just went, if there's someone there, which you could kind of hear Neon running at the beginning of the round, insta pop, he can't run away. That's an easy free kill for the start. So we've seen that from both sides, constantly dealing with that pressure and getting a lot of control for it, because when you don't have that A control, you can't just rotate. You can't just gamble. You need to keep players on that side of the map. And that allowed for a very easy take of the B site for GX.
Still seeking that double digit for Gentlemates. It's evaded them in the previous, but a buy round comes in yet again. Credits, though, starting to wane. The bank's running dry. The vault's looking empty. Mates,
look how slow they were to walk up.
To go up in A.
They waited the first 5 seconds in case there was a stun from Ara.
Much slower, but GX also waited. They played behind the box. They've allowed that Prowler to go deep into A main and see absolutely nothing. Now, the only downside is they're not making noise on B. They're not seeing the camera and breaking it, robbing them of information. They're not making Mates panic. So even though Mates now think, okay, A main is cleared, they're maybe fighting for mid, they're about to come into art. They're not focused on the angle where GX are coming from, but they still have players here. They'll be able to pounce pretty quickly. You already see the first go their way. Oh, Ara, he's got one, but there's nothing else for GX until Cloud pipes up.
Yeah, the problem is the HP, I guess. Arrow was already marked. And they're just waiting for the full squad to get into position. Cloud caught with his pants down, and while good luck Arrow is about to be revealed, there is no escape from that one. Bippo with 3, but again, like watching this game has been genuinely enjoyable. I think both teams are almost playing that chess game. Like the counter marks to everybody else. That was an early piece of aggression from Mates falling back, and then just a really solid reveal coming out from Starzo. It just made it so easy for some of those initial kills to come through for his team, and then they just play up the advantages, consistently trading. When they get far enough ahead, they fall back, just sit passively, and then wait for them to go and plant. Because once they plant, you know where one of them is, and it makes it a lot easier for them. It's just smart Valorant.
Oh, double digits finally found. A few seconds left on the clock. You can see GX maybe looking for a bit more of a direct round. Utility being set up towards B long. 3 players there ready to swing around, pull back the smoke, get Ara into position. Challenge Martin early on. No one's pulled back the smoke. Makes me a little nervous. The knife's gone down.
No, he escaped first.
Yeah, he managed to get out with the gate crash. He needed to. Otherwise, he would have been dead for sure. Good flash. Oh, Bippo past the stun, but only good for 1.
Oh, Martin's just been digged through the wall as well. 35 health. Of course, he's cool and collected. Didn't even react to it.
Down.
This has sent GX back in the other direction. They knew that Yara was there at least, and now the re-aggress comes through from Mates, but with spotting nothing, they will have a decent idea that it's no longer this B site. Immediately, Martin starts his rotation back in the other direction. They're a little bit wary of how much control of mid they've let go. The possibility of a flank high, and because of this, it's left Glyph somewhat alone, but his teammates are close by.
Oh, they haven't spotted Glyph either. Yeah, he's managed to find himself a little nest on that side, but they faded him out of the smoke. They suspected he was playing sneaky, and with Martin down as well, a hero has to step up. Starzo's the one to put Cloud in the ground, bring this back to a 2v3, but as he falls, Mini all alone. He's got the entirety of GX to face off against, and they might have heard a step before, but they certainly know he's there now. Suppressed and swinging into Ara. They're swinging into him right after. GX, 9 on the board, and this close game that, well, was teed up by you to start the day out, Tom. You said you think we might have one on our hands. Well, we certainly did.
It's just nice to watch teams with that utility. Like, think about how they lost the last one. It was a reveal coming over the top, and somebody sat close, spamming through the smoke. So they immediately send a dart into the back of the site so that anybody there is trying to avoid it rather than spamming them. And then they throw the nade into the smoke so anybody there can't spam them through it. Like, it is just them reacting to other things that their opponents have been doing and making sure that that's a lot harder to do. Of course, they also took away a lot of the utility with the null command as well. So this puts the economy down to Mates. They are somewhat saving here. It's a half buy to get them into the next round. A couple of ults to play with. The main one is that overdrive from Bippo. Although Ara has it on the other side, but he also has a gun to play with. For GX, 2 away from some very high impact ults. Right, getting that lockdown online will almost gift them a sight, and then the Hunter's Fury. Perfect for the take, but they are doing this again.
It's so unsettling to watch, Tom. It makes... It floods my body with anxiety.
We're traumatized from the stage going red.
I genuinely, I see one LED turn red while they're standing there. I freak out, but we're good. And they've made the right call again. They've gotten to the B site ahead of the curve, thanks to sitting in spawn, waiting for that information, but it's fallen into their hands. Unfortunately, the kills most certainly have not. Mini's gone under the radar, able to find at least one up close, suspecting a wide swing out, but no shots land. And Starzo now has it all to do. A low HP Ara, but he has no info. Only knows a player planted up close, but by now they could have slipped back to long. Nice shot from Starzo to start this out. Dancing around that spammable wall, but when he goes out wide, they are there waiting to greet him. GX, 10 on the board. A tie game yet again, but we are getting closer to the final hour.
And then so far on this attack side, it's definitely looked a little bit more like it's in GX's favor. Only singular rounds coming up from Mates, and they need to buck that trend fairly quickly. They do have a couple of ults coming into this round, which could turn that tide. I'm looking at Martin and his dimensional drift, but already a tactical break called an opportunity for the coaching staff to check in, for Pipson to maybe say anything that he spotted, but more importantly, for Paco and Kundi to sort of give this is the fix.
Very high. And I think with the power level mates brought in, the assumed power level after the first day, it's going about as I expected.
Yeah, it is always difficult. Like when a team has played earlier in the week, they sort of, even though it's the same stage for GX, you get kind of like warmed up into the week, get back into like, okay, we had our mistakes and blips early on, and for GX, it wouldn't be crazy surprising if they came in a little bit cold, but it doesn't look that way. Like Grabinho especially has been phenomenal. Flickless has definitely had his moments, and I guess what has made this such a back and forth and enjoyable map so far. Once again, early control garnered by mates, taking deep pressure on B, and that allows them to gamble an extra player towards this A site, which is where the hit is coming.
You should run.
Nightfall goes in, 3 players spotted, but what do you do against that lockdown? Hippo has an idea. He's getting aggressive. He's going to try to catch them coming out. Might even end up getting detained. He's going to sprint. Just about get caught. Now the Hunter's Fury chases him down. He overstayed his welcome. It's paid the price for it. Now look who's up close. Ara, a tough game for him so far. But now on the attack, he can make his own. Look, that flash caught him clean. And now he's being spotted. Sprinting, fleeing the site, moving back towards main, towards default. At least as the Cosmic Divide gives them an angle. Ara goes down. Martin and Starzo have more. So much more to offer as GX crumble. Player after player falls, and Cloud, with the Hunter's Fury already committed, a Cosmic Divide blocking them off, there's nothing that he can do but run and save that weapon. The defuse guaranteed, and the lead, it's there for mates.
See, it's funny. I remember back in the day, I think it was one of the first times I saw someone create a gap with the Cosmic Divide, and I think it was Guilt. It was on Haven. That was the one that I remember, and I think it was Draken who TP'd into the back, and I was like, that's so cool. So they tried to do it the next week, and they got absolutely owned. The thing I like about this from Martin is he checks if there's someone in the gap, and he goes, okay, I'll stand outside and jump into it. You're not going to be ready for me with a shorty, and you're in a close angle because of where I put you. It's a small adaptation to the same idea where he still gets the benefit. That's clever.
It is cerebral play that puts you ahead. 11 for mates. The home stretch, not far away, but GX still have money to buy. Even if they lose this one, the credits will be there for the attackers. So there's no easy task for the defense. Now, GX seem to be moving towards this mid control again, and we can see it's wide open. This flash doesn't even need to go through. All it's going to do is blind the camera. That's much deeper down. They make that read. Drone's going to be committed. That little bit of utility is going to be kept for later in the round. And honestly, that little bit of patience could come back to pay its weight in gold. That timing is terrible for Starzo. He just cleared this. He thinks he's got a couple seconds at least, but okay, at least the knife will give it away, and he won't be completely blindsided.
Still got to be a little bit careful of the spawn, but it seems like Stars are aware of that as well. Ara's just waiting in case anybody tries to flank them. The danger is just how aggressive the players on mates have been. They've taken so much control, and it will come down to Grabinho's timing, which thus far has been perfect, but they are very aware that he can come from this angle.
Take this.
Oh, Bib. Oh, he'll get 2. Okay, that stabilizes. That gives him a chance, and with Ara down, 3v3, walking into the spawn like that, it's an audacious play. GX. Big fans of Scooby-Doo, they split up and they don't find a clue between them. It's 12 to 10. 2 chances now for mates to close this map out.
Yeah, I don't mind the initial idea of like pushing the players. Like you had Grabinho waiting and then they try and pincer in. I don't think they expected Bippo to get 2 here. And that's what kind of throws it into turmoil. I think if we're talking about Grabinho as the master of timing, I think Ara's timing is utterly cursed. I think there was about 4 or 5 times he could have gone through that gap, and he got unlucky that it was the second the guy comes the other way. Like Mini was about to duck into him. He waited there, what, 40 seconds?
This is just going to be for the orb, right? It's not full control over EMEA being sought for. Not an early, quick exec. So I was getting a little worried there. The pace was going to be hastened. Although we do end up in a standoff. Utility Prowlers caught 1. deep inside A main. It's going to get some rotates, you'd imagine, especially with that Cypher you'd tilt towards B.
And of course,
It's actually Mini coming over.
I have noticed throughout the game, like Starzo at times, like you saw at A-Lig last round, he's been a bit more hesitant. That util runs out, or it feels like it runs out a lot quicker, especially when you're that only initiator on your side. So
Take flight.
that Prowler definitely found its value. But they are still committed to this side of the map. It seems, though, that mates are happy to sit back and almost wait, maybe try and avoid the knife that will inevitably be coming soon. But they're actually gambling back on the other direction, going back towards the B site. It's two of them. It does leave two to try and defend.
Oh, Glyph, he must have been seen. I think Arrow was inside the smoke. Maybe caught a shoelace poking through, but it's enough. The plant found at least for GX as Mini spams back. Starzo with another. They know the Cloud is trapped up close. He's dropped and it's not.
Wow.
Even gonna hang on for a moment of suspense. Gentlemates, they take this one across the line. Some good rounds towards the end there as well to put 13-10 on the board, keeping up and carrying on their momentum from their foot match.
Yeah, they're a brand new squad facing off against the...
Chosen by GX, and this is where they need to bounce back and take us all the way to 3. Let's see how it goes. Flickless on the Viper top. I mean, what's your take on that? I'm a Flickless fan all the way, but
I prefer him on initiators. Wow. Okay. Well, Martin has just been absolutely cooked within the first few seconds of the round. That's not a bad start for Cloud. Over onto the Sky. Sage. Something I've enjoyed seeing, I'll be honest. I'm on Mini in a prime position. It's something they've got to check, and they are trying to check. But maybe just a little bit too late. The trades back and forth leave us even once again. And there is that seize. It always seems to land. The Starzo has a heat-seeking seize, it seems. Oh, that's a sentence you can't say quickly too many times.
watch me. No,
Spike
I won't try. Spike planted, the wall soon to break, and I think there is value for mates in just waiting. The chance of one of them having pushed A and wrapped around. Now as the wall breaks, having to worry about elbow. They're just putting question marks in the minds of the GX players, but these players seem cyber-focused, and now both players, I believe, on the mate side have been spotted. All the info there to work with. Big swing from 2, and it's West side to triple down in the first round. We saw a flying stat there about his headshot percentage. It was 44% last year. Yeah, pretty good already. But there's a few more to add to the tally.
It's also good because he's not one of those players where it's like they would just bottom frag in every game, but they had some headshots. He was actually one of the better players for this squad. Let's go! And that's what kicked this one off with a bang, fired up. We saw some of the replays of both teams shouting across against each other, maybe a bit of a grudge match, I'm sure. I feel like Starzo is one of the players that has always managed to rile up opponents to get them shouted as well. It's something I've genuinely missed a lot. I still remember him doing his aerobics exercises in tactical pauses all the way back at some of the early events.
I dropped the spike.
I enjoyed it so much, I even casted one of those games twice.
Yes, you did. I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set that one out. Watched from home, had a great time, I have to say. I still can't believe you said what you said, Tom, but 1-0 for GX. It should be an easy conversion here, but look at the numbers that mates have managed to get into position. This could get a little bit dicey, a little bit
They spin it by everything.
Martin's got the first. Can there be more, though? Damage, the name of the game, but GX have come in with 2 pistols. Margin for error is high. Already one has recovered a rifle, and West side standing close by. Mates need to make this a bloodbath for it to be costly. Gonna come down close to winning the round, and winning the fight against Flickless seemed possible. And although Glyph takes down West side, it is just the 2 pistols lost. So for GX, nothing lost, something gained in the form of a round 2-0 start here on Bind. It's exactly what they need.
I might change my thought process. Maybe Starzo doesn't have magnetic utility. Maybe Aura is magnetic to utility.
That could very
because
well
I feel like his game so far, like people maybe like the stats Andes will look at the last map and go, wow, he didn't play very well. It's like, no, he just got wrecked by every single
That'll
piece of
wreck.
utility, bad timing. Like,
I think it was mainly defensive side as well. Normally on the attack, like you'd see the duelist was diving in, taking the space. But no, he was just getting so unlucky in every fight.
yeah.
And then they avoided him in the times when he had the upper hand, had they come his way. So
Go get him.
it was.
And then that was, I think he got hit by 4 pieces of utility before he died. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's rare
Cool,
for me
what
to
am
see
I
like
meant to do?
Neon 7 and 15 and not, you know, roast them immediately, regardless of if it's ranked.
Don't worry,
right
someone
here.
will do it for you.
Someone will, for sure. But I don't think it's warranted in the case of Ara. Genuinely feel like he had an unlucky map in the previous. Nothing went his way, and that does just happen sometimes. You can't see that twice in a row, though. And he's coming in here with a little bit of pressure on his shoulders to deliver. Nice stuff by Westside to find one up close. A bit more needed, but the time is ticking now, and it's made so the pressure to get in there. The shorty's out for Ara. Confidence builder, perhaps. Just in the nick of time. Glyph alone, 1 versus 3 after his first pickup.
No time.
And he doesn't have a snowball's chance. GX up to 3.
Yeah, nice bonus round from them. Like, I like as well just how that wall is being utilized just to create a little bit of pocket space for Westside to play around. Because with that guy jiggle peeking and just swinging you in awkward fights, like, as we've sort of mentioned multiple times, he's pretty good at hitting headshots and just made that really awkward. Like, you could even see players trying to wrap around on him, but because of that pocket he's created, it definitely made it uncomfortable. And with some weaker weapons in play, managing to get that over the line, it's another fantastic start. Now, we've got to not get too far ahead of ourselves because they had a 4-0 start on the last map. And they didn't win that one. It very quickly came back in Mate's favor. I do think, though, that Mates have shown that, especially on the attack side, I think that's where they've really been thriving. I think they've been brilliant in the way that we've seen the calling and the lurks and positioning across the map. I want to see if they've got that same resilience when it comes to the defensive side of their opponent's map choice.
I definitely do expect, though, on the attack for them to continue that momentum with the double dive. Like, you think about Martin and Bippo firing themselves into those sites. It's not going to be very easy to deal with. GX need that little bit of a leg up going into the next half. It's going to be a very, very slow move from GX, and it's understandable. Yeah, you're up against these pistols at the moment. Deep rotation through the spawn just to avoid any aggression that might have come through. Avoid those nooks and crannies. Take these really long-range fights. They've chosen the site that, for now at least, has the least amount of players, but they need to be quick or they're going to have a lot to deal with when they burst through to that site. Fates are already here.
I think the C slowed them down a little bit. The reveal up top and the one rifle that was given to Martin at the beginning of the round has already managed to find a target. There's Grabinho, though, and Glyph does manage to get one. Time's starting to tick, and in fact, for safety, they're going to utilize that res. It might not be needed, but with Mini now, that rifle in hand, he's still got an opportunity to try and take this one home, but he's not going to manage to connect. Flickless will convert that 4-0. A little bit closer than they may have liked, but GX, they've got the credits to spare. They won't mind too much.
Oh, without a doubt. They can take a couple hits here or there to the economy and still be sitting pretty when push comes to shove. And you look at Rubinho walking out through long there, taking that double, immediately dove on it. To be honest, I think very lucky to still have Westside alive to pop that res. He's being targeted from sight.
Guys, good job.
He was lit up and just a shot or two away from a completely different result, but Mates denied that win. Buy right back up here. Dimensional drift online for Martin early on. And nobody's going to be spotted towards the A site with Seekers immediately on B. That's going to get the TP from Martin. He's now on site ready to help out.
Yeah, immediate use of the ult is definitely rare, but with how fast they're going, a re-swing. They didn't start off great, the edge of the wall. Do they know? They know. They know Stars is in this corner. This is one of the weirdest positions for a defender to be in, and one that GX have dealt with. Not too many problems at all. The timing for Mini does work out. Him versus Westside is a battle of the headshot machines, and neither of them comes out on top. It's Grabinho to put down Bippo, and while Mini's got so many angles to check, somehow still standing after crossing past the angle. The first shot is magnificent. One more needed, and he'll take it home. I don't know how he's managed to come out of that one alive, but he's for sure giving it once he did.
Unreal work from Mini. See him in that 1v2. You think a Red Bull clutch is never far away. and so needed when we've seen these consistent hits towards the B site now. Flood out with the Sage wall on left. It's worked. And there was an attempt here to get ahead of it, leaving Starzo to play up close. He even got on top of the wall for a moment. But then a build having to rely on a clutch, never ideal. But if the man in that clutch is Mini, well, you've always got a chance.
They've just added another lock to the jail that they've put him in. You're not going anywhere, son. Well, that was impressive stuff. Again, 4-0. They break back, but is this going to be a different story? Martin has just dealt with Ara immediately. Bit of an off angle for Bippo. He's yet to get on the board, but it's one you'd almost expect to check, and Flickless had eyes on it. They now look to try and pressure this side of the map.
Oh, Bippo was walking very close to the edge of that smoke. Speaking of which, around that orb, there was a gap. Flickless drops Mini with it, but Martin running dry on ammo puts numbers back to even. Cloud, tag very low, but so too is Bippo. I mean, we're about neck and neck. The only thing playing against GX here is this very late flank from Glyph. It's being watched right now by Grabinho, but for how long? He's moving towards the site. He's got a smoke still and an orbital strike. He wants to be putting utility down, and that's exactly what he's doing. The timing here will be everything, and he makes it around the corner at least. But with a player peeking into bathroom in the form of Bippo, Glyph knows that they're not coming in there. He's going to walk his way up behind on mid, and as this big crunch comes in on site, if they can just hold on, they've got a man coming in those back lines to completely turn the tide in their favor. Glyph finds one, but the Viper's pit. Well, this has put the shoe on the other foot. Now Flickless stands with an advantage, but the defuse could be going in right under his nose. He steps forward and catches Bippo. The defender remains killless as GX push further into the lead.
Flickless has been excellent so far, especially in the late round scenarios. There's been a couple that I feel like easily could have gone in the other direction if not for his quick thinking. Even the snakebite we saw a couple of rounds ago sort of saved them. And this was just quick reactions, especially with how low he was already. 5-1, a different story already from the last map, and one that is definitely going to bite back at mates. I think that's one that, as to the beginning of the year, the expectations are that you should hit the ground running.
Flying start for the attackers. And after the pause, what is the change-up? It is pistols for mates, so let's not set our expectations too high. 4 players early to B. TP taken on that A site. Quick rotation as well. They know where the hit's coming in, but with these pistols, even with the numbers, it can be hard to do anything. Bucky's already been forced back into a pretty long-range angle, tagged up as well by the nade, and then, well, good night and sweet dreams. We're down to the pistols yet again.
Even though the rest of them are going through, just look at the position of Grabinho on the other side of the map. He's waiting in case anybody tries to lurk. They know their back is completely safe at this stage. The rest of the players are going to home in on the angle. That's going to make it incredibly difficult. Arrow within the... Oh! I'm telling you, he's cursed. He's been jumping buckied by Starzo. It doesn't get much worse than that, although maybe it does. 2 quick kills. There is Westside. His cheeky wall position! And even better with the aim. That's 6-1 on the board, and well, he's getting ever closer to having that res online again.
He's so good, man. It's ridiculous. I take back what I said. No, don't give him the sheriff. He needs that fire rate. Still hits the headshots every time. Yeah, Ara,
we need that many replays of it.
I really feel like Ara must have been rude to someone. Like
guys, what's happening, guys?
What is happening? A 6-1 scoreline, a dominant display from GX, a team who went 4-0 up rather in the previous map, and then it ended up as a pretty tight game. Here though, they're not relinquishing that lead. Up to 5 at this stage. They set their sights on B. Already a Nightfall's going to be put into play, yet amongst the chaos, Glyph's gone down. Was that a spam through the wall?
Oh, Mini's moved into the corner. First one's easy. Second one might be tougher if he dies. It's the res, but no, he's taken Westside down. Giving them an opportunity. Okay, showstopper just used to defend, and oh, just about. Bibbo's going to survive. Martin then gets the trade back. Nothing going for Ara. This is where the post block could get nasty. This time, though, Starzo does catch the timing and leaves Cloud alone. Every position work it out, and well, I don't think that's going to stop them defusing. I think they've just about, it's going to come right down to the wire, the time in here. So much so that neither of them got it on it immediately.
We're all panicking here.
Oh, they're going to get it.
Oh no, he's come off it. They'll never have time. Somehow.
Damn, only almost 10 seconds.
6-2. A 4-round gap now to play with. Big one for Mates though. Seeing Bippo fire off like that, surviving at the site from the showstopper.
Cool.
And it was, yeah, straight through the wall. Of course, Seeker is giving him a little bit of a hint on where that fight should be taken, but just shoot right that way.
Maybe that was it. That was it
guys, let's
from
get for
Arrow. He's
so
used
easy.
the monkey paw.
Yeah.
The finger's gone down. He's gone, I want to win our map choice dominantly. But he didn't say that he wanted himself to play well. So that's the curse. That's what comes with it.
Yeah, I maybe Bippo said the same thing. He's been having a tough old start.
What did he wish for? I guess their map. But it wasn't that dominant.
Yeah, I think that was his first kill there, 1-7. Survived the showstopper in the previous though. How much longer are you going to be able to keep him down? We've certainly seen a high ceiling from him in some of the games so far. Bliff forced back. Gravwell will deny any further aggression. So that's full commitment from Martine. He can gate crash out, so it's not the end of the world, but in goes the conversion path. Walled off is Bippo. He has a choice now, and he makes the right one, refracting back and bailing out. Those double duelists having the ability to TP. It makes all the difference.
I think that's the third ult we've seen in the last 2 rounds that has ultimately done absolutely nothing.
They just got walled off.
They've been sectioned out of Flickless again. That man spent the whole offseason just hitting the aim trainer. He was good before, he's disgusting now. Martine though, whoa, they needed a hero.
Down B.
It would have had to be a miracle, and unfortunately this one, it wasn't performed. It will be a 7th round for GX, unless Bippo is going to go for the 1v3 with 29 HP. And guessing from his position, he's not going to do that.
I don't know what's giving you that impression, Tom, but I'll go with you on this one. For Bippo, the save, and right back to winning ways for GX. Map 3, not on the horizon just yet, but it is starting to inch closer, as that lead cannot be closed in on. But again, we did talk about this, you know, when you think about Mates on the attack side, not even just talking about their composition, but the team in general, it's where they've really been doing their best work. And so the question that I don't think anyone has a definitive answer to is, how many do they need? Every little's going to help. But moving into that next half, but for now, nothing but GX victories on the board.
The worry as well, though, is if you look at the composition that's being run by GX, and it is a very disruptive comp when you're trying to play up against it on the defense. Like, you've got the smokes, you've got the Viper, you've got the info from Cloud on the sky, and then you've got the Sage Wall that's just going to be annoying. So I do worry that GX might already be in a good enough position for themselves going into the defense, and I almost think that Mates might need to try and run this all the way back to a 7-5 if we're going to see a competitive second map.
So this is the line in the sand that you're going to draw, Tom.
Yeah,
from here on out.
It's not been particularly close. Like, the last map was very back and forth, and this has felt like blips in a story that's all GX-sided.
Oh, I agree with you there. I do think, you know, for Mates, pistol rounds, if they go 8-4, it's going to have a lot of weight. You can put it down to a coin flip at that stage. So, yeah, I can see why your line is drawn here, Tom.
Your line is one off my line.
No, I wasn't saying 8-4 is my goal. I think it is probably 7-5 as well, roundabout there. Because, again, otherwise it goes down to, like, do you win the pistol? If you don't, it's a
and
huge
when you're
task.
up against Grapedio and West Side especially, you can't really bank on that. Bippo looking for some spams. He shoots and immediately dies. Martine has got one back with the trades.
Kill my ally.
Trades with Rez as well.
Well, yeah, and Rez. That's the problem when West Side's getting so many kills. The only problem with the deaths is it's going to make Ara's stat line even worse, as he's always the one that's being brought back. It's going to be like he's died more times than there were rounds.
He's not quite there, but he's pretty close at this stage.
This is it. Like, I will say, the fact that there's still players on the Mate side spamming after everybody has been domed the second they did that, it's a little bold.
I mean, it is just one of those scenarios where you've got to go all in at some point. You got to take every chance just to see if you can fight your way back through, and every chance taken, it all went GX's way.
Everyone going all in with a losing hand, it felt.
Yeah, exactly. 2s and 3s. And I think at this stage, In zone, probably the most frustrated with that. Everybody's alive at the end of the round, but they don't get their flawless, because of course the res had to be used to pull them back into that. But I think we can look past that technicality and say that it was, in spirit, a flawless round from
I
GX.
think I might
so
be the
many
best
of these
sage in this game.
best sage in this game, very well may be. Most modest as well.
Has he watched Jing play?
But this is the thing, man. I think for GX at the moment, it's night and day to the previous map. It looks like there's nothing they can do wrong. Even in that opening fight, what, 2-3 rounds now, Flickless has been able, or Westside, to just spam someone straight through a smoke. Cloud as well when he popped the ult. Actually, I feel like there's been a lot of rounds where mates have just been a player down because of something that's kind of out of their control. But that said, GX then have been playing, I think, better as well on a round-to-round basis. When the look doesn't go their way, nice start from Starzo, but going to be tough to find a pretty end to this one.
Yeah, it's an awkward position from Glyph. Does he get anything? There's one. Needs a little bit more, but no, again. Just keeping things level. Through they go. Really nice flash. Problem is, Bippo's have to duck out of there, and there's Grubinho to save the day once again. A superstar within this GX roster. And now Bippo, he's got to increase his kill tally by quite a bit to make this one work. And if he swings, there's going to be a couple more. He's aware of it. Smart stuff. That's already his kill tally doubled. Can he make a triple? No. Flickless a safe pair of hands, 9 and 2. A very different looking back to the last one. A chess game that instead, it feels a bit more like Kaplunk. Everything's falling apart for mates.
I think one team might be closer to flipping the table than the other. For that defensive side, 2 on the board, 1 here or there. A clutch for Mini that put the first up. It's not been a lot to look back on with promise, with hope. We said that second half, everything could change. Double dive duelists. Bippo can feel a bit more comfortable taking the tip of the spear alongside Martine, the flood of utility. It could look fantastic, but if you've only got 2 or 3 rounds to play with, which is, I hate to break it to you, but the maximum mates are walking out with is 3. Your margin for error is going to be very, very thin. GX building a lot of confidence up in this round. Or in this map so far, man, he's going to run every ult in the book after him, and he'll be caught on the way out. The disadvantage brought back by Starzo, however.
Yeah. Seeker eventually will tell them he's there, but it's a little bit too late. Aggressive position. Glyph versus Ara. It could end up deciding the round. Is the angle check properly, but Ara's going to win it out. Leaves Starzo with everything to do. And just look at the positions of both players. One in heaven, one back towards the showers. How do you clear both of these players? And the worst thing is he doesn't even know where any of them are. Ara could have easily gone back in towards the lamps, made it impossible to get in behind, and he's just having to check absolutely everything. Looking at the plant maybe gives the game away slightly, but neither of them are falling for the tropes, falling for the traps. It is perfectly played by both of them, and eventually, sure, he'll get a kill or 2, but it's irrelevant at this stage. Even just messing about a little bit, sure, Arrow will fall, but it is meaningless. 10 rounds for GX. What a half they've just had.
Yeah, it was 10 rounds for GX in the previous map, but they managed it in the first half here on Bind. Phenomenal work. And now it's time to send it over to Lou, who's standing by with Flickless's mom.
One enemy
Thank you, Tom and Mitch. And what would be a VCT game without some proud?
Well, I'll tell you what, chicken nuggets, I'm sure it's fun to watch Flickless play with, but I feel like having some popcorn, because the guy looks like he's in an action movie a lot of the time out there. John Wick on the server. GX 10 on the board. Double digits in the first half. I mean, not day compared
How
to
much
map
do you
number
believe
1.
in that attack side now?
Yeah, you know, you said 7-5, but Tom, I knew 10-2. You know,
Okay.
that's what mates needed. 2 rounds, it's enough. They can easily
When you're
take
right,
this.
you're right, you know?
Another 13-10. Here it comes.
Oh, it's going to have to be this pistol round goal in their way. And well, Martine has managed to get the better of Flickless at least. That is a danger man gone early. I'm still looking at the position of Westside. Just clearing everything behind them. This position from Starzo as well. It's like just the rattiest of spots. And they're going to go back the other way. You've got one man on one side and the rest of the team on the other. And Starzo's like, no, lads, follow me. We're going into the B site. Now Westside's position is completely null and void. And they have the B site for free.
Another one tap from Starzo as we go to a 4v2. GX now looking like they're going to give Mates at least a foot in the door, but still something to be said about this with Grabinho on backside. West side doesn't land the headshots when it matters here in the pistol. So Grabinho, an ace needed. What a performance he's had so far. Some big rounds in that first half, but this one would certainly take the cake. There it is for 3. 40 HP though. Nice try. But 3 rounds on the board for Gentlemates at long last.
I'm not gonna lie, after he got the first one, I believed he was gonna do it. Like, just with how good he's been. His aim just seems to have hit another level since joining this
Thanks, Andy.
GX squad. And oh,
One enemy remaining.
that is the lifeline. A long, long way to go before we can start talking about any real danger for GX on their map choice. And I'll be honest, with how this series has gone, I'm happy to see Split on the horizon. For Bippo, though, that's rough. Like, he has been having a bad game, especially for what we've seen from him so far. There's a freebie, at least, with, I would say, a little bit of help from his friends, but that is 3 assists that have come off the back of that one.
Oh, it's a risky play to go through that smoke. The flash is good. Bippo keeps on going, though, and the confidence is there up against the eco. But, you know, you got to start somewhere. Mates look for their 4th. The question of damage is going to be a difficult one for GX to have any sort of meaningful answer to. Mini on the pistol gives that extra margin for error. Ara's already taking a bit of, it's the decay, in fact. It's not damage. He's right back up to 100, so there's that. But
just look at them. They're feeling out the other side of the map, though. Just look how far Martin has gone. And with Starzo going down, I wonder if the question starts to begin of like, okay, are we going to now go back in the other direction? Doesn't seem like it, though. They look fairly committed. Ara pushing up might even sell them the wrong idea. Like, with somebody going looking that far, it might have been an attempt to camel the other way, but now they've spotted out the second player for Bippo, making things a lot easier for the squad in this one.
Just stolen what could perhaps have been Bippo's ace, but fair enough. I think a win's a win at this point. Hour 65, Spectre miles away. That got really dangerous for a second there. I mean, they were in a default. 2 players towards A, 1 holding short, 1 holding bath. 3 guys creeping up long, and Starzo just walks out against the Classic. I've not seen goal like that for a while, but as much as he was punished, it doesn't seem like that's going to come back to haunt Mates. Aaron, I like what he's doing, just trying to play the exit. To be honest, if he's patient enough, he might get the chance for 1.
Yeah, they're looking, yeah, the thing is,
especially Bippo.
They look towards the spawn, and because they haven't heard anything, I was wondering if maybe they'd go in that direction, but no, they are going to walk this way. I assume they'll go left towards Glyph in a position that's already clear rather than going back. And the stun's really nice. They were just guessing where that last player could be, and they are waiting and watching. Well read from Mates, because that easily could have been a far more costly round.
And I think in these rounds especially, it's very important. Like, when you're already trailing, you can't give away the advantages that you have, that you've gained in those early fights, especially against an eco. And I think I like this. We're seeing Mates completely locked in. They know that they're miles behind. They know that this map, it's not lost. 6-round gap. We've seen way crazier things happen, especially here in EMEA. But they know that they've got to play it round by round. They've got to lock in this moment. And even just to close that scoreline in, if they do end up on split, as I said, all hope not lost yet. It'll be an A play from the Gentlemates. They've already taken a lot of control. This is going to be a very quick hit indeed. Oh, no! Bippo! 8 HP! And Flickless is still alive. That's a crime.
He's lucky to still be standing. Grabinho in the corner. Flash again. Perfect from Martin. And another now dropping. In fact, they're all falling like flies. West side. Always good for one, but with the credits that they have, they consider going for this. Of course, up against the bonus, maybe think that there'll be a vulnerability or two, or if somebody gives them a favorable fight, they'll take it and run with it. But Cloud's fully committed. Back in towards the lamps he goes, and Mini's not missing that from there. Leaves West side versus the lot, and as the wall goes down, all 3 are waiting for him. That is a much-needed bonus round victory for Mates, and maybe the start of what is the comeback now, because I'll be honest, pistol and follow-up didn't mean a lot to me.
No, that is very fair, Tom. I'll give you that. This third definitely changes things, especially when they lose opening pick. When you see Bippo dive in and leave a guy at 8 HP, get worried. The rotate's underway, but very nicely dealt with, and I think a lot of that goes down to Mini.
Boys, take guns, take guns, take guns.
Taking the really important fights towards Lamps. We come in here 10-5. The gap closing. The pistols in for GX. What looked like a map that they'd made a meal of now looks like a bite-sized dish. Maybe an entree to start at least here.
Outlaw in play for Martin, of course. One shot to anybody that dares face him. Well, we'll lock down some control. Now at least mates are happy to feel out the map. They've been, well, from the couple of matches we've seen, very happy to just play things nice and slow. And they make their decision later into the round, almost wait for their opponents to use up that utility, make mistakes. That's exactly what they're doing for now. I will say that for a team that has said that's brand new in terms of every single piece other than Mini, the synergy this squad looks to have already as a base, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, the one player you're keeping as well, changing role completely. So even in terms of his individual comfort in this year, new teammates, new role, everything is different. Like
30 seconds left.
Said, this is a squad we can see doing damage in the future, but it looks like they're here for the here and now. TP taking towards the B site. Decoy's already gone into B. They need these picks, and that's huge. Martin finding them on the pistols. When you're up against time and they've got the numbers, it can be disastrous, but Martin has dealt with every danger
left.
and left them with an easy plan. He keeps on going. A 4K, run away, Mini. That's Martin's kill. They're swapping weapons. They're giving it to him. Good teammates as the shorty will get him the fifth. Martin, an ace down on that stage as the comeback continues. That'll certainly help the climb back.
I like that he points at Mini, because he knows that Mini could have taken that kill if he really wanted to.
It's a good teammate. That's a real leader right there, even if he is an IGL.
Who cares about orbs when you can get confidence?
Yes, yes.
10-6. They leave it late, but they never seem to crumble under that pressure as well. Martin's lurking sniper rifle into the B site.
Reverse Gentlemates from last year.
Yeah, exactly.
We're slow to start, but then we close it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody ever said, like, wow, what a great comeback from Gentlemates. But we'll see.
What a great comeback from whoever's
It's funny as well,
them.
because they had a player with that name.
Next.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a comeback today either. No. Well, 10-6. Mates starting to drum up some support, some hope at last. Martin in there on the but he'll be caught by Flickless. The trade, at least, will be found. Bippo low, but Starzo is clean. He ran the house. He has completely swept them and left Cloud on west side without a clue as to what just went wrong. That's Andy, I'm gonna have to use you here, man. Show me what Starzo just got up to.
Literally, it was the Nightfall. He put the Nightfall in and just went, they can't hear me, I'm just going to sprint. Like, everybody else is focused on the rest of my players, that I can just have that as a distraction. And he was right. That's fair play to him. And after the remaining two, getting back in is just impossible. Cloud alone. Starzo just looking to join up with the rest of his team. Doesn't have any interest in over-facing here. Again, almost just being that distraction so the others can find the kill, and that's exactly what happens. Mini closes the round. But again, it's another set play that just has layers to it. Like, you look at the start and you go, okay, this is utility set up for Martin to get the kills. And in reality, it really wasn't. It was set up so that Bippo could get him behind, and then Starzo could go in even further. Like, Starzo was layer 3. The first being Martin, the second being Bippo, and then the third just him full sprinting while players can't move.
And a timeout from GX. Not only seeing that lead slip now, one that, well, Tom, yeah, you made a joke, but
This is a massive wake-up call that you've now lost 5 rounds in a row, and not just rounds where, okay, we had pistols, or they won the second round, or they got a little bit lucky. Like, those last couple were just well-executed rounds.
Gap of 3 and pistols in play. Ults, though, will start to build up for GX at least. 2 away is the most that they're dealing with. on this defensive side, so the next buy round will have a lot of power behind it, but I mean, take a look at the credits on Gentlemate's side. They can afford to lose around an ult dump, still fight right back, set themselves up in a really good position, and it's GX that now, despite being 3 ahead, they're the ones that have to climb back in terms of the momentum. Great flash, but the weaponry's not quite there to make it work, and Glyph is quick to punish Cloud with arrow low as well, and pistols across the board. Looks like mates have done the hard work already.
Yeah, still plenty of time left for them to play with, so no real need to rush into things, and that gives Martin time, and I've enjoyed seeing Martin as this secondary duelist because a lot of the time it's just them giving him space. Like, let him go walkabouts, let him find gaps, let him look for space. Amostazo once again working as that distraction. Bippo even going through teammates' utility just to catch the vulnerable players. This time, his shorty does do the work. And while with only Westside standing, all he can really hope for here is to stop this being flawless, because just look at the credits. Even if he kills 3, maybe even 4 here, it means nothing to the amount of credits that mates have.
Yeah, it would perhaps have a butterfly effect in a later round, but that's
They'd
the most
win
you
the
can
game
hope for. Yeah. You'd have to have a 5-op buy coming out or something to really mess him up. Westside.
Uh-oh.
About to be crapped up on
Glyph
from
go?
behind.
Does he go for the knife? Does he go for... No, he doesn't.
1 extra orb as well. That's
He's nicer than me.
It's an
nicer than C-Day.
It is an important kill, though, as well, for an in-zone flawless going onto the Astra. 1 away from a Cosmic Divide now to work with. There's a couple ultis that we said for GX would be online. Orbital Strike, Res, and Seekers. It's quite a bit to work with there with a Pit and a Showstopper in just 1. Potentially all 5 ults to be seen in the next round, but for mates, they have at least 2 to respond with. Convergence path, especially from Bippo, could disrupt whatever the A game is for GX. 10 to 8. I'm surprised that we're here. Although seeing mates perform very differently in a second half, I probably shouldn't be.
Well, no, it is leaning into what I said earlier, but to an almost extreme degree. Like, their attack sides have been fantastic, and it seems like the layers to each attack round is like they're adapting on the fly, but they also just have some very good set executes. Now a switch up of sorts. A wall to give Westside an early fight, but yeah, the problem is with how slow mates have been, that wall might dissipate before he even gets the chance to fight.
Gone soon.
The timing here could be really rough if he falls, and instead he's going to be stuck on top of it. In fact, they're even ready for it as well. Martin's the one to get the opener. Orbital Strike could be nasty, but Martin's already gone. He was the one under threat, and Glyph has just domed him through the wall. It leaves them under pressure again. Showstopper ready, but the smoke fading gives Mini a chance. Being aggressive in their nature, and well, I don't think he's using the Showstopper here.
I would be surprised. And I think a large part of why mates are playing that round so slow is because they're up against 5 ultimates. They don't know what's coming around. If they take an early fight, but they don't actually capitalize on that control, i.e. if they're just playing for a bit of control on B, and they go back in the other direction for the plant, whatever, the res is going to come through, and it won't really matter. You're taking a big risk for not a lot of payoff. The slow approach here, let your opponent make the mistakes, and then go for one big burst play. Yeah. Give them as little opportunity as possible to put those ultis into effective use.
That's what I like about their post plant as well. Like, a lot of what they've been doing has been relatively passive in post. Like, you've had those early hits and then you just allow them to take the space. Like, maybe Starzo's baiting people into fights and then having crossfires. This time they didn't do that because, as you said, if they get the Sage Res, if they get the Showstopper set up with utility, that's a problem. So, okay, let's push them. Let's take fight. That's filthy, by the way. That was just a ridiculous spam to even attempt to go for, but I can't believe what I'm seeing. 7 rounds in a row.
From a team that had 2 in the first half, one of which was Mini winning a clutch.
Yeah.
So, you know, not that that's a crazy rare thing for Mini to win a clutch, but, you know, pretty rare for it to be pretty much the only thing you do in a half. And then for you to still be in the game. But here we are. It's a strange day. Last round, of course, Seekers and Orbital Strike put through from GX, so their ultimate economy is starting to wane, as is their credit economy, but, you know, the loss bonuses build up at this stage. For mates, comfort, really, it seems like the game is in their hand at this moment. Viper's Pit to play off against, And it does look like they're moving towards it, but they have the utility from Starzo that's going to be looking to clear this out. Danger for Flick. It's going to be a TP. They're going to flash deep, TP on the back of that, and look to punish Flickless. This could be crazy. It's a mad straw. It's a fake and a spam. Flickless and 4 HP. They're surrounding him and pushing him out of his own pit.
Yeah, the man that was left to defend him was taken out by Bippo over the top. And now the Viper's pit, well, it comes back up, but it's on the other side. As you said, it's decent from Flickless to keep them standing, but now they've lost another to Mini, and all these players trying to get through. It's going to be awkward. Bippo on the corner, but he goes down. Maybe that showstopper can have effect after all. Straight through it goes, a chance to remove that pit, but looking for Mini, and he will find him. That's at least that gone. Glyph low, Starzo low. They're clearing them out one by one, and Glyph is all that remains. He's going to bait them out, but they don't know he's behind. Into the 1 versus 1. Ara trying to wrap around, needs to get on that spike. That time is ticking, and Glyph knows he just needs to get it off. It is another Red Bull clutch, and in Mate's favor. They have continued with 8 rounds in a row. And a 10-10 scoreline. I don't even think the co-streamers in the booth next door saw coming.
That round was so well played. No wasted thought. No spare momentum.
You went the champs! You went the champs, seriously?
Get on your feet, my man. 10-10. 8 rounds in a row. And winning it out like that as well. Pushing and pulling in the 1v2. The puppet master. Somehow mates are here. A chance to take the lead. Hell, to take this series. And look at what GX are fighting off against. If this win streak continues, just 3 more and it's a 2-0, and GX fight to defend their lead with pistols. And they've used 4 of their ultimates. Hellseeker's almost back online. This as a series needs to be studied. I'm sure it will be.
Well, if GX let it slip, the Pipson's going to be studying it. There's no doubt about that. That's a nice start for Flickless, though. He's still been stellar.
Big risk against the eco from Mates as well.
Yeah, the thing is with Waylay, that's kind of what you're almost stuck with. Yeah. You need to be diving in. I think he would just hope that he would have got out of there for it. Even still, though, what has been a...
What?
The Outlaws on low buy rounds have just been disgusting. It was like Mini saw Martine doing it and then was like, okay, it's my turn now. And well, what started like a hopeful round is now just fallen into a lurking Viper double.
A lurking Viper running through a Viper's wall with an Outlaw into sight for contact, but yeah, everyone's already dead.
Why
so
didn't you see that one coming?
Spam straight through it to take the second guy after he saw one in the open. Didn't even see backside to line it up and just guessed. That'd probably peek around now, wouldn't he? What an absolute lunatic. If I lost a round like that in ranked, I think I'd close my PC down. I think I have in the past. Mini, at this stage, because the round in isolation is kind of ridiculous. Like, it's an eco from GX in the first place. They get the opening. You know, they have a little bit of hope to at least have a back and forth, to at least do some damage and get themselves into a fight, you know? Feel like their teeth are getting back in to the meat and potatoes of the game. And for it to be after 8 rounds in a row, a guy just goes, oh, you have a bit of hope? Let me deal with that real quick. You've got to feel so dejected.
I think the upsetting thing for them is there's not, like, for example, if I said how many times has a player, or if I had a nickel for every time somebody on Mates has walked into an eco round site with an Outlaw and won it for the team, I would have a couple, but it's a couple more than I expected to see in this game. Like, we saw Martine do exactly the same thing.
We did see Sight to line it up, at least.
But it's got to be infuriating because you've got to feel as a player like you're not really doing too much wrong, but you're just being caught by these incredible plays from the other side. The Vipers both sitting atop the board. Mini now extending his lead above, but 11-10 from 10-2 down. They now have the lead, and it's all-out aggression. I like the idea. GX at this point, it's got to go back to basics. They've still got to defend, though. There's other players to deal with, and nothing is working out for GX. Now it's Starzo's turn. Yep, we know where they died. We know, we saw. We know what happened.
Face your fear.
Oh, the Nightfall. Yeah, I think he just got that one online. That's going to let him know where one of them is. The flank coming from
They're on her quick.
Rubinho will be here in about 2.5
They're
weeks.
on her
And they're going to
again.
swing. Starzo is now looking for his own ace. I don't know if they'll be as friendly about it this time because the round far more valuable, but maybe we'll give an opportunity in the corner behind the smoke. They are Rubinho. This is a round that almost should have been their opponents. I think a snake bite is waiting for the spam coming through. Starzo looking for his ace, but he's taking a lot of damage. Can't risk the round for solo glory, but Starzo's going to try and do it anyway. The steps a bit hurt, but there is the ace in the end. Leading by example. He might not be a new man on the block as he's been in EMEA for a long, long time, but he's back with a different jersey, a different squad, and a completely different mentality.
Double digits, man. We talked about it on the last map. It was hard for mates to get there. They couldn't push up to 10. When they did, they closed the game out. Well, they just went to 10 in a row against GX. As Cliff said, they went to champs. This is a squad that comes in with expectations from everybody.
And no excuses either. There's no like, oh, we've got a new player, we're playing with a standard. There's nothing. This is a squad that people looked at and went, okay, you've got to have that good start to the year.
I'll give an excuse to Ara if he comes out in a post-game interview and says, I just had the unluckiest game of my life. I'll be like, yeah, you did, bro. I saw it happen. Unlucky. But sadly, that excuse ain't going to put any wins on the board. Nice shot from Westside.
They finally shut down the Outlaw.
Is it the first defensive side opening duel they've had that didn't immediately get shut down, like traded back?
Well, the
doubled
last
up
one
on?
wasn't immediate, but Starzo did kill
like 10
the
seconds
entire...
later. Then he just won the round.
Found one.
Seeker's going to give them almost everything they needed. 4 players making their way through long. Arrow above, he's not going to win the fight. Desperately needed to take that one home. And now Bimbo's going to go over the top. The slow has connected. It makes it impossible. No escape for Cloud. Wonderful utility work. And from a man advantage to a 2-man disadvantage, they were 10-2 in the lead. And now mates have the chance, after choking leads left, right, and center, to pull off an 11-round streak. Flickless will clear Mini. An opportunity maybe, but that opportunity fading. Flickless started this game off magnificently. And he has a chance to keep them in it. But both players just sitting back. Starzo going to go looking, checking, and will just wipe him out. It is a different look for mates in 2026. And while no surprise, Mini